Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. It's Fat Albert. Look at me. I feel like I'm building like a little fort. I have like a little fort. I've got my blankie, I got my things, I got my chapstick. I'm all set. And you know what would help? Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, I had the comments on like the small font, Johnny. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't see. I have my good glasses on and I can't see. And then I squipped and it was like suddenly it's bold and bigger and bolder. So much better. Ashley, hello. Hello, Blonde Cheryl and Sandy and Megan and Grandma Carol, Mom Lee and Tracy. Whew. This is a TikTok marathon, but I guess I've been training for it all these years, huh? Carla, nice to see you. Good evening. Good evening. Is that your survival marathon blanket? It's just honestly, sure, anything is it's given me comfort. It's keeping me warm. One of my big things I will share with you guys, one of the things that's really important to me is to be at the right temperature. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. And there we go. And I got like a little cape. There we go. As I said, I'm making a fort. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the third TikTok live I've done today. And I'm not done yet. I am not done yet, but here I am. Did everybody get their laundry done? There were a bunch of people. I don't know if anybody was here. I did a TikTok live at 3 p.m. Eastern today. I'm always East Coast time in case you're curious. Many people were doing laundry. Okay? Many people were doing laundry. Now, I actually did my laundry yesterday when we were talking about it. Kristen is still working on it. Awesome. I love it. Megan is saying, I work till 7, but I will be ready for laundry at 9. So cool. So cool. I will share with you guys. Talk about what I like to call a positive ripple effect. I didn't have laundry to do. Barbara's putting hers in now. But you know what I did? Is I had a handful of dishes in the sink. I had let them accumulate. My husband was away since yesterday afternoon. And I was like, yeah, I'll get to them. You know the feeling, right? Angela, you forgot it in the washer again? Okay, go put it on like rinse and spin, okay? In case it got all kind of funky. And then put it in the dryer before we're done, okay? Everybody try to remind Angela. Angela, set a timer for like 45 minutes or set if your washer has like an alarm or something to remind you to put it in the dryer, okay? But you guys inspired me to put the handful of dishes from the sink into the dishwasher before my husband gets home, or even just at that time, okay? So hope that helps, Angela. Oh, my favorite person says sunflower. Go on. Hey, this is cool. German Maid 95 went through her side room and got 5 boxes of more decor to give away. Woohoo! Rockin'. Cat Mama says, yes, bedding, making the bed with a cat already in it. See, that's what saves me. I will share with you guys. Here, let me see if I can get closer here. I feel like we're so far away. Doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? That's the thing that saves me from having to make the bed in the morning is I get up before my husband, so I can't make it when he's still in bed. So now that's his job. Okay? Hey there, everybody. Love it. Okay, Angela, good on you. Okay. There we go, Haley Cakes. Haley Cakes got my alarm for 6 p.m. Beth. I love it. So here is some cautiously optimistic news. You might want to look at under the table news. It's so funny. I watch it all the time. You know the girl who has like glasses like me, or excuse me, not girl. They might identify otherwise, but does really good stuff. I bring this up because I heard my Boston accent moments ago, and Senator Edward Markey just introduced some legislation to extend the ban on TikTok for like another 270 days. This does not mean it's going to happen at all, but I encourage you to listen to his accent. Oh my God, if he did not sound like under the desk news. Thank you. I knew it was a table. It wasn't a desk. Yes, and thank you. I'm glad I caught myself in just being in a habitual boy and girl thing. Yes, they, them. Totally cool. But listen to Ed Markey. And if he does not sound like home to me, it's wicked funny. He says, I literally think he says something about 40. He pronounces something that's so like old school Boston. I just felt like home. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Island girl. Me too. Me too. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm in the land of the hoagie and water ice. And yet I hear somebody with a Boston accent. I'm like, God, you sound like home. Okay. So I love it. Oh, hello from Louisiana. So just something fun to share in that respect. But hey, okay, there you go. Island girl in Seattle. You grew up in Hyde Park. Hyde Park. I have family in Hyde Park. My grandparents actually grew up there on Truman Highway, I think, in a triple decker. I can't talk like home for a while. But Christina Glendale, I'm glad you're starting to feel better. I was thinking about you. I'm so glad you're feeling better. Awesome. There we go, Island girl. I grew up, my parents were from Dedham. I grew up in Needham, but I've lived outside of Mass for like almost 25 years. It's crazy. Okay, Earth Queen says, I'm disabled and my home is cluttered. I really need help. Earth Queen, if you are disabled, here's what I highly recommend. Now, the way I coach is I coach on Zoom, but I coach people who are more likely being able to get up and do the stuff. However, there are people out there who do come and help you declutter your home in person. I highly recommend, write this down. They're NAPO, NAPO. Better get NAPO. National Association of Professional Organizers. They changed the name a little bit. Look them up on the internet and look for people near you. There are trained professionals who can come into your house and help you. Okay? So I hope that helps. Okay? That is something that might help you. All right. So, Cap Roby's back. SBB until 4:30, your time. Yes. Hi-ho, hi-yo. It's back to the fridge I go. Hi-ho, hi-ho. Back to the fridge I go. Kat showed up at my 3 p.m. Eastern TikTok Live and is chunking it down. She's doing her fridge and she's going shelf by shelf by shelf by shelf, chunking it down. I love that you're going there. All right? So here, Jelly Bee. Jelly Bee is asking about books. Am I a bookkeeper or am I a bookkeeper? I keep books, but not like I used to. I was thinking about this. Now, Jelly Bee is saying, what's your policy on keeping books? So many I love, but they're heavy and take up space. I used to avidly collect books. Here's the present, here's the past, here's the future. In the past, I used to avidly collect books. I grew up with book readers and lovers and collectors like nobody's business. So much so that my dad transformed a room in our house when I was growing up into a library. And my mother to this day is still ordering books on Amazon, even though her house is chock-a-block full. So God, Johnny, do I know about books? What I will offer to you is my collecting of books really started and kind of crested prior to the internet and somewhat thereafter. I collected books primarily that were nonfiction, that were about topics I was interested in, because I couldn't find that information elsewhere. This was prior to the internet. So if I was interested in Art Deco or a biography of somebody or diners or tiki culture or stuff like that there, when I found a book, I bought a book so I could learn and have resources. However, during the time of the internet, that actually was kind of at the beginning. You're like, I can get any book I want. And then you realize I don't really need all these books. I may want them, but so this is what I do. I do not judge you about how many books you have or how many books you don't have. I have right now, we have in the other room, that green room that I've done TikToks from, on either side of me are 2 IKEA bookcases, chock-a-block full of books, and there's one kind of near the front door as well. I am allowing those 3 containers, those 3 bookcases, to define how many books I keep. I have gone through and culled out ones that I just don't necessarily need anymore, but also I know if I don't want to get rid of many of them because they fit and they look good. I don't want to have empty bookcases. Now, if I were moving, it might be a different case. So I offer to you, notice how many books you have and ask yourself, why am I still keeping this? Is it out of habit? Is it out of the hope that I might read it again? Notice why you keep your items, okay? Certain books I keep because now, instead of being actively things that I currently use to research, they remind me of who I was back then. They remind me of the things I was interested in and sometimes still are. But I will share with you that we have literally within the next month, my husband and I will celebrate 20 years in this little house that we moved into in Pennsylvania. And we are different people than we were when we moved in 20 years ago. We are 20 years older. And also, the books we have represent mostly who we were and a little bit who we are. Does that help, Jelly Bee? I hope it helps. Okay? I hope that helps. All right? Yes, I hope that someday I'll read it. There's nothing wrong with that. What I say then is, okay, then make a plan to read the book. Read the book. Make a plan to read the book. Judy, do you have anybody had a book they say, oh, I hope will read that. Will you reread it someday? Now, most of my books, just because of what I've been interested, are more nonfiction than fiction. I have very few books, but I have saved a handful of them thinking I might read them again, or I'll be honest with you, having them on my bookshelf made me feel kind of smart. Hey, look at these cool books that I have read. You know, it's like back in the day, you used to, and I'm going to sound like a judgy person here, but we used to learn something about what people, we used to learn about people based on some of the things they kept. When books were the only way you could get information, maybe people were judgy and, you know, you wanted to have books around. I'll be honest, I would totally judge somebody by their record collection or their CD collection. And not necessarily in a bad way, but I'd be looking for commonalities. Look at the things that I have in common with you. So if you are saving books with the hopeful thought of reading them again, put that hope to the test. Pull it out, sit down on your couch today, and between the end of this TikTok Live and the beginning of my next one, just ask yourself, am I going to read this again? Now, sometimes you will, sometimes you're not. Maybe not. Today's not the right time. But play with your toys. Play with your toys. Okay? Yeah. You can use the book as a reward for decluttering other spaces. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I just offer that to you. I now am very conscious of how I deal with books. Funny thing is, you guys, no lie. During the break between my last TikTok Live and this TikTok Live, I did two things that were good for me. I got out of the house and I took a walk because it was still light out. I won't say it was sunny out. I moved my body. I got some fresh air. I got some perspective. I got out, got my eyes away from my phone. And I stopped at the library because there were two books I checked out of the library. One of them was a time management book that one of my clients recommended. And before I went immediately to an online place to buy a copy, I thought, why do I have to buy it? I have a wonderful library 2 blocks from my house. They had it. I put a hold on it. I got to pick it up. I belong to a book club. It's a very loosey-goosey book club, but there was a book that we are supposed to read, so I have changed my habits. I no longer actively buy books except for certain occasions, and when I buy them, I am lucky enough to have an independent bookstore a few blocks away from me that I will buy from them. But even when I buy a book, I buy it, and my intention is after I've read it, I may give it away, because I don't need to collect it anymore. And the fact that I use the container of my bookcase as kind of parentheses, as boundaries to say, I will not have more books than can fit on this bookcase, kind of keeps my books in check. Okay? I hope that helps. All right? Yep. There we go. Yes, I used to buy books, says Reclaiming Jen, and now I borrow from the library. Yeah. So, and yes, Hoopla and Libby for free digital library books is even better for me. Yes, notice what works, you know? And I love this. Teresa said, I missed you several times today, and I love it. Penny says to Teresa, glad you're here now. Yeah. So you can regret something in the past. I say this, don't regret anything. Don't regret the past. Be cool with it and say, I'm so glad I'm here now. Now, we could spend the next 45 minutes sobbing and lamenting and commiserating over TikTok possibly going away. All right? I've said that all along. TikTok is not away until until we try to load it up and our screen goes blank. Until then, do not obey in advance. Get out of pity mode and into action mode. I don't know. Let's celebrate the fact that we are here now and we still can connect. Okay? So, you may be lamenting and regretting collecting up all your clutter, collecting things in the past. Christina Glendale's here, so I'm thinking of those Ray Dunn things. I have collected so much stuff. I mean, seriously, can I show you right now? See, I still have some of my collections right here. Okay, that's like my tiki drinking friends thing. That's my little corner of stuff that I used to collect but don't really anymore. So many of us collect things. Do not regret what you did in the past. You were doing the best you could with the skills you had. But if what you did in the past isn't jiving with who you want to be, yes, I love it. Yes, Christina, oh my God, the Ray Dunn, right? So don't bum yourself out on what you did in the past in ever to do better starting now and moving forward. And yay, 616440 is catching me on the commute home from work. Please drive safely. Please stand up. I love this. Cat Roby's checking in live from the fridge. Cat Roby's checking in. 2 check marks. Middle shelves done. Choo-choo. High five. Awesome. Yeah. Now, user 1963 has their own way of doing books. I keep signed books, first editions, or books 100 plus years old. I was an English major as well as my husband. Yeah. I used to get my books signed. I still have some that are signed, but I don't necessarily actively get them signed to me unless I know I'm going to keep them. I love it. I love that you have your own book process that works for you. That's good. Cool stuff. I love it. Cat Roby has an Elvis corner. Very cool. Bianca says, I really like you. You're so soothing. Ah. Yes, soothing. Soothing down your nervous system. Always the first time. Always the first step in anything. You know? There we go. Christina Glendale says, I made it through pneumonia and the first week of grad school. Yes, that's right. You're going to grad school. I love it. That's a win. That's a win and a win. Celebrating. Celebrate the moments of your life. You know? So, if I haven't, I kind of can't remember because I've done so many TikTok lives this week. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. And I'm here on TikTok many times this week on the off chance that TikTok goes dark on the 19th. Prior to that, just as a heads up, I will not be. Even if TikTok is here next week, which I hope it will be, even if TikTok is here next week, I will not be. I am traveling next week. So I am doing a wicked lot of TikTok lives this week because I don't want to obey in advance. I want to show up as much as I can. If we only have, notice I was talking about bookcases, if we only have this amount of time together on TikTok, let's use that maximum amount of time. Okay? Let's use our time together for good. All right? So, let's use this time together for good. And Christina Glendale, we coach together, she says, thanks for teaching me to celebrate it all, Beth. Yes. Celebrate every little thing that's worth celebrating. There is so much worth celebrating. Even at the same time, there's so much that's worth crying over and getting mad at. Okay? It can help balance the internal scales. When you start to feel like all is lost and it's hopeless and there's no hope, at least for me anyway, I'll just speak for myself. I tend to feel like I don't want to do anything. I want to crawl into bed, curl up in a ball, and not do anything. Now, sometimes I do that. I get wicked tired. But I don't want to let the turkeys get me down. I don't want to go down without a fight. And I would rather look back on my time during times of adversity and feel like the hero in my story versus the victim. I was thinking about that today on my walk. Who are you? Speaking of books, this is our TikTok chapter of our lives. Those years that we spent connected to other people via this thing called TikTok. That chapter had a beginning. That chapter might possibly end in just a few days. But it might not. We're not there at the end of that chapter yet. But I ask you, with every chapter of the book of your life, who are you? Are you a victim? Are you a heroine or a hero? Are you proud of the story you would tell somebody else about what you did during this time? I remember thinking about this back during COVID. I remembered thinking, okay, who do I want to show up as during COVID? Now, I did pretty much what I'm doing right now. This is my thing. What can I do with what I have? And I, at the time, had a connection. I had a connection to people who may not be connected to other people. So I showed up and did what I'm doing right now, is connected people. This is me. I'm a connector. I show up so other people don't feel so alone, and I endeavor to help you feel connected and not so alone, so you feel better, so you do some stuff that's better. Okay? So think about that. How do you want to show up during this part of your life, this chapter in your life, and this chapter of what's going on in the world? Now, I know I'm getting kind of global about this, or even just, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. If that seems too much, let's shrink it on down now, shall we? Let's shrink it on down as small as your house. In your house, are you a victim of your clutter? Or are you going to be the hero of your decluttering story? Are you going to say, no more clutter? I am no longer the victim. I am the hero of this story. And I'm going to do something about this clutter. Now, if you don't know quite what to do, that's when I show up. I'm that character in your story that shows up with the map and the laughs. I'm riding a donkey. I don't know. I'm cracking the jokes. I'm like the wacky sidekick that shows up. I am the teacher that appears when the student is ready. Okay? So just think about these things. I know it's dinner time where I am, so this is food for thought. Yes, I sing the songs that make the whole world sing. Right, I sing the songs, right. I make the journey through this chapter of your life fun, so you get it done. When you are done with decluttering, I may physically leave your world, but hopefully the wisdom and the thoughts and the ideas that I shared with you live on in you. So you say, you know what? I remember somebody once told me to calm down my nervous system, to chunk it down, and everything will be okay. That I can do something to change this. Yes, there we go. All right? And Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, we can take charge. I'm doing the work baby steps clearing the closet, baby steps the cellar. We are all babies in this scenario. We can take steps. And remember, babies weren't born knowing how to walk. But they wanted to walk, so they started. They started with the crawling. They started with the sitting. I actually don't have kids, so I don't know the quite order of it. But at some point, okay, there we go. All right, thank you. The What About Bob? That's so funny. My husband, who's going to probably come home during this TikTok live, he's a What About Bob fan too. But yes, chunking it down is a baby step. What's a baby step you can do right now in the next half hour to get yourself slightly more decluttered than you are now? Chunking it down, such practical and great advice, helps calm down the overwhelm when it happens. Yes, all of my advice is helping you calm down your nervous system and realize you can do something that previously your unhelpful co-pilot voice said you couldn't do it. Okay? There we go. I love it. I love that there's pop culture references going on that I'm unaware of. I love it. You know what? So, Oceanana, it was always my dream to sing and act in movies with Elvis since I was a little girl. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? Honestly, I'll share with you. I wanted to hang out with the Monkees and the Beatles. I saw Hard Day's Night, and I watched the Monkees, and I was like, oh my God. First of all, that house is so cute, that beach house that the Monkees lived in. They were so cute. They were so nice and funny and quirky and kind and talented. And then, after many years of stumbling and bumbling through my life, I met my husband. And he's a Beatles fan like I am. And he's beautiful and kind and wonderful, and we have a wacky house, and I love it. So, now here's an interesting thing. User 616440, I think you may have your people wrong. You said my co-pilot needs a big cup of shut the heck up sometimes. No, your co-pilot is the one that has that cup and hands it to your backseat driver. Okay? Your backseat driver is the one that needs to quiet down. Think about even that concept of being a backseat driver. It's somebody else telling you, don't do it how you're doing it. Do it how I want you to do it. There we go. Oh, interesting. Techie Gadget Queen says, my cousin married Peter Tork's sister. Well, it's a small world after all, isn't it? You know? I love it. So notice who is speaking in your head. I thought of this earlier, and this is the thing I love about coaching, is I've been talking on TikTok Lives and coaching for literal years now. And yet often it's still something I can think of some way to phrase it differently. So let me hit you with this one. First of all, let's celebrate the moments of our life. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, the decluttering I did this morning was noticeable to my husband. And I got rid of a trunk full of stuff today. Awesome. Yay. Yay. Okay, oops. I hit the wrong button. Here's what came up, and you know how much I love a rhyme and a song and an alliteration and a thing where it spells something else, but I can't remember what that is. Let me share this one with you. You have two voices in your head. You have a choice of two voices, backseat driver or co-pilot. Backseat driver stops you, makes you feel bad, makes you feel shameful. It discourages you. It makes you feel guilty. It makes you feel heavy. That is your co-pilot. Excuse me, that's your backseat driver. Backseat driver saying, don't do that. No, you can't do that. You're too old. I can't believe you're not wearing any makeup on this TikTok Live. Did you see your eyelids on that last TikTok Live? It looked so weird. Oh my gosh. So you're screwing things up. Unhelpful voice in your head is your backseat driver. Thank you, Barbara. Acronym. Thank you. Couldn't think of it. I should think of acronym Ohio. Okay, that's one voice in your head. You have two voices. Two voices, one choice. The other voice is your co-pilot. This is your co-pilot speaking. Your co-pilot is the opposite of your backseat driver. It wants to go anywhere you want to go. Fine by me. This is your car, not mine. I'm along for the ride. But I'm here to help you get to where you want to go. When you are on a road trip, the person in the passenger seat is the one that is guiding you. You're the one focusing on the road. They are telling you what's up ahead because they have the map. They say, oh, hey, I can see that there's a roadblock in ahead. We might want to slow down and figure out how to move that. They also will say, hey, slow down. There's something really nice we should see. They will encourage you. They show up in curiosity and love, not fear and judgment. You have two voices in your head. The co-pilot is the navigator. Yes, they have the map. I have the map. I know how to get you from cluttered to decluttered. Okay? I help you. I am a co-pilot voice. Yet I also have my own backseat driver and co-pilot. And occasionally, especially with my husband, because I'm like that, I can be a backseat driver. I know that about me, and I endeavor to do better. So I say to you, you have two voices in your head. Two voices, one choice. Okay? Two voices, one choice. Out of those two voices, choose the one. What's your choice? Choose the one that makes you feel better. Because when you feel better, you do better. So if you choose 2 voices, 1 choice, the choice is up to you. Okay? Now this is interesting. Barbara Hughes says, Waze is my co-pilot when I'm literally driving. And you know how Waze helps you? Is because you need to tell Waze first, before it can work, where you want to go. Your destination. Yeah, that's why I call it destination decluttered. So defining your destination, saying this is where I want to head, immediately connects a line. A line is a distance between 2 points. You tell Waze where you want to go, it says I can help you get there. You tell me and your own internal co-pilot, this is where I want to go. And when you learn to use your own GPS, your own internal GPS, you can get there too. Yes. And Carla Jane says, I hear my mom's and others in my head every now and then. Depending upon what they say, they could be either of these. Oftentimes, yeah, I don't need the guilt from outside folks. Yes. This was a really interesting thing. Somebody else mentioned this on, yes, and the backseat driver just causes stress. Just causes stress. I coached a lot today, so I apologize if I don't remember who said it exactly. But think about this. Let me get this right. Your backseat driver voice is always somebody else's voice. It's not your voice. Your co-pilot is always your inner wisdom, your co-pilot. You are your own co-pilot. The backseat driver is like Fred Flintstone's mother-in-law. It's somebody else's voice. So when you hear your judgy backseat driver voice, who does it remind you of? Who used to talk to you like that? Okay? Just get curious. Just get curious. Now, I love this. Jenny says, I hear chunk it down in your voice a lot. It's comforting and redirects me. Well, if that doesn't sound like a co-pilot voice, I don't know who does. Now, here's the wonderful thing. I will be a temporary co-pilot voice for you. My goal is for you to hear your co-pilot in your own voice. I don't mind that you imitate me. Who knows? You may say Wicked Lot and Hoagie and .com. Your co-pilot voice may have a temporary Boston/Philly accent. But I want you to learn that that's the voice. When you have that voice and you listen to that voice, it's not me. It's your inner wisdom just learning how to speak a better language. And it's imitating me. It's learning a language by imitation. And when you talk more kindly to yourself, like I talk more kindly to yourself, you are learning that language. And you're learning how it feels good when you calm down your nervous system, backseat driver, shut the fuck up, and you turn up the volume on your co-pilot so you can hear them. Quiet them down, turn this up, feels good. Now, Barbara says, I don't always choose the same route. Depends on a number of factors. Just like getting to your destination. You don't have to take the same route all the time. Okay? Hey, strong silver soul sister. I love it. Yay, I caught you while I'm cleaning. I love it. Jelly Bee is asking, do you have any tips for keeping your nightstand decluttered? Yes, I do. There are surfaces in your home that you are in the habit of putting things on. They will get temporarily cluttered. It happens in our kitchen all the time, in the bathroom all the time. There are many areas of your home that you use to put things down temporarily. That is clutter, things that are temporarily where they don't permanently belong. Jelly Bee, what I suggest you do is to get in the habit of decluttering your nightstand more often and more regularly than you do now. I know this, that I've been doing this. So like in the morning, for example, when I get up, if I went to bed and like my book is there and my glass of water or my Kleenexes or whatever, I am in the habit of cleaning that off every morning. So when I go to bed and during the day, it's clean. Okay? So notice that. Also, I share this with you. Maybe you have things you use every day, in medications, etc. Maybe you don't want them on the top of the nightstand. Is there another way that you could, what's the word I want to use? Contain those things, maybe in a basket, maybe on another shelf, maybe in a drawer of your nightstand, that you know that they're there, but they don't have to be in the surface. Okay? Now, I love this. Wendy says, I say wicked a lot for a person who isn't even from or ever visited there. You know what? It's a total habit. I keep it because it reminds me of home, and it's just embedded in the way I speak, and I don't care to change it. I grew up saying tomato. I now say tomato. Okay? Let's call the whole thing off. I love this. Wendy says, co-pilot is your personal cheerleader. Go you. Yes, you. We can do it. Backseat driver is the opposing team's super fan. Okay, so that's a way of thinking about it. But here's something I want to clue you in on. Okay? Oops. Somebody said, sorry, I'm leaving. Just got back home from chemo. Now I can relax. There you go. Take care of yourself. Yeah, I'm just getting back home, silly. Take care of yourself, hon. And yeah, you deserve a break today at McDonald's. You deserve a break after chemo. Yeah, Leslie M. says, I have to declutter my kitchen counters twice a day to stay sane. Notice how a decluttered kitchen counter makes you feel better mentally. Sometimes we need to do things a little bit at a time. Clutter, if you are living in your house is not a museum. If you live in your house, there will be surfaces that temporarily will have clutter on them. How long that temporary time is all up to you. With me, I could have left those dishes in the sink for another couple hours or a day or a month, but I decided to shorten up that temporary time because I enjoy looking in the sink and not seeing dirty dishes. Okay? So, yeah, but this is the thing I wanted to mention. It's so nice to see you, 80s girl forever. Take care of yourself. Put on some comfy clothes. Okay? Make yourself comfortable. Everybody makes yourself comfortable, not just 80s girl. Wendy M. says the backseat driver is an opposing team superfan. Let me hit you with this. This may be advanced because this took me a while to wrap my head around it. But if we only have a finite amount of time left on TikTok, I'm going to share everything I know with you. I'm not going to leave anything kind of hidden or gate kept or anything. Your backseat driver, in a really weird, awkward, not really helpful way, is trying to take care of you. Is trying in its own ham-handed way to keep you safe, to take care of you. I know, it sounds crazy, but just run with it. Okay, just indulge me here. Think about it. The backseat driver in your car who's saying, don't do it that way, do it this way, is afraid, fear in the backseat. Backseat driver equals fear. Is afraid that if you do it that way, we may get hurt. Don't drive too fast, we may get in an accident. Don't drive too slow, somebody may hit us. Don't wait too long to put on your blinker, somebody may hit us. We may die. Your backseat driver is like your primal brain that is afraid of you feeling pain, or even worse, the pain of it all, death. So it does what it can to try to stop you from what they believe is a threat to your safety or your safety or like pain or death. Big concept. I'm just going to offer that to you. Let it swirl around in your head, but just notice notice, I know this can be tough. Notice the positive, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but the positive intention behind the backseat driver. When you can notice that there is a positive intention behind the backseat driver, you will have more empathy for that backseat driver. You won't be as mad at them. You'll kind of get where they were coming from, and you'll have a better understanding. Oh, I get it. You are actually trying to do a good thing, but it's not really a good thing. It's like when your dog is like hitting you with its paw because it's like trying to, I don't know, pet you, but it's really scratching you. It doesn't mean to scratch you. It's trying to do something good. Okay? I just wanted to share that concept with you because it's a good one. Okay? All right, here we go. Okay, Carla Jane is saying, Beth, will you please say that one more time? Your backseat driver sounds like someone else, and your co-pilot is really yourself. It's temporarily maybe my voice or somebody that's been encouraging to you in the past, but ideally, to me, your co-pilot is like your soul speaking. It's like your true self, your loving. It could be God, for crying out loud. I don't know. It could be, it's that part of you that's like, you got this, you can do it. Okay? Backseat driver, yeah, is trying to help you, but it's just going about it the wrong way. We all do this because we notice when we yell at ourselves, we're trying to motivate ourselves, but it's not working. Okay? Yeah. So, Teresa's saying, I grew up with nothing left out or dishes. Drives me crazy. I can't get my house that way. Well, notice the difference in the house you grew up in versus now. Do you have the time that the person who was always putting things away did it? Just get curious about what the situation was back then. And you can, I love it because it says drives me crazy. You can choose to be driven crazy about it, or you can choose to say, you know what? My life is different. I'm going to be happy with the way my house looks now, and that's going to make me feel better because the most important thing is you feel better. Okay? Yeah, Radical Gal saying my decluttering success, and frankly any success in my book, depends on who I let in the front with me and eventually who I let in the car at all. Yeah. And now here's the funny thing. Pardon me, my leg is getting achy. Yeah, who do you let in your life? Whose voice do you allow to take up space and energy in your head? You have a choice. Yeah, so notice it, Carla Jane. Carla Jane says, oh my gosh, my mother. Carla Jane, you are driving too fast. Your car is too low to the ground. You are too close. Yes. Notice how she was trying in her really, the best way, the only way maybe she knew how, she was trying to keep you safe. She didn't want you getting in a car accident. Okay? Yes. Oh, I love that. Tiffany, that's a good one. Backseat driver has a positive intent, but a negative impact. Ooh, I love that. And Damn It Donna says, this is why my husband and I often drive in separate cars. Yes. Okay? So, if we all do, in the way that I think of the world, in the way I coach, in the way I move about my life, if we always are in the car in the driver's seat, and we always have a backseat driver and a co-pilot with us at all times from now until the rest of our lives, what are we going to do with that situation? What I highly recommend is notice. Notice when your backseat driver is talking to you. Notice it and say, hey, wait a minute. If I believe what they're saying, I'm going to feel like a bummer. And it's not going to be helpful. But your backseat driver actually has some really interesting things to offer. Your backseat driver is great at helping you make your checklist of things to do because, man, is it good at pointing out the flaws. Okay? If you're always with those three people, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, body of Christ, amen. If you've got the driver, the co-pilot, and the backseat driver, who's going to help you move forward in the life in the way that you feel good and you want to do it? Your co-pilot. Quieting down that backseat driver just allows your co-pilot to have a chat with you. You can't chat in the front seat if that little kid is always yakking in the background, right? Now, here we go. We have choices. Yes, we do. Oops, hit the wrong button. Apologize. Here we go. Rach says, I was Little Cinderella growing up, swore I wouldn't have a messy house. I didn't till after a house fire. After a house fire, it became kind of like a hoarder. Is it any surprise? You lost everything you owned. And I say thing with a capital T, like all the nouns. You didn't lose everything, but you lost everything you had. You know what it feels like to lose those things. You don't want to lose things again, so you hold them tightly, you know? So notice this stuff. Now, Carla Jane says, oh no, I gotta go apologize to my daughter after this live. I don't do that, but I still can be negative. We all can be. The guy who's going to walk in the house possibly before this TikTok live, my husband, I am, even though I coach about this daily, if I don't pay attention, my backseat driver voice comes out. My backseat driver voice comes out because I am afraid that what he's doing will not have a good effect. I also, frankly, it comes from not trusting somebody and trusting their decisions. I am working on it. Carla, you can work on it too. None of us are perfect. None of us. Perfection is an illusion. Perfection is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Do not aspire to it. You will always be let down. Okay? Do the best you can with what you have. Forgive yourself your trespasses as you forgive those who trespass against us. And then calm your backseat driver down. Turn up the volume on your co-pilot and say, let's go have a road trip. Isn't that how the Lord's Prayer goes? Something like that. Yes, Jenny is the backseat driver. The reason I sometimes have anxiety and overwhelm when decluttering, yes. It is looking at, oh my God, there's so much. Oh my God, there's so much. This is causing me to be like, I can't do this. There's so much. I'm overwhelmed. I can't even. I'm feeling like I'm drowning. There's so much stuff. Yeah. That's why the opposite. Your co-pilot will be like, I know there's a lot. We're going to chunk it down. There is stuff, and it's not even a lot. There is a finite number of items in your home. Right now, you're feeling the feeling of knowing the feeling of too much. That is all you need to work on. Your clutter is not everything in your house. It's just the amount of stuff that's in between too much and your just right amount. Kind of like Goldilocks. Not enough, too much, just right. So when you know that your backseat driver is causing you to feel anxiety and overwhelm, you can do something about that. Knowledge is power. Schoolhouse rock. School on the block. Schoolhouse rock. Knowledge is power. When you know that you are telling yourself your backseat driver is saying something that's causing you to feel overwhelmed and not want to start, feel anxiety and not want to start, when you know that's where the voice is coming from, you can do something about it. You can quiet it down. You can listen to it and listen to what it's saying and say, okay, I hear you, and we're going to chunk it down. Your backseat driver and your co-pilot are often, if you're hanging out with me, it's a discussion over the car seat. You know? The co-pilot in the front seat is leaning over being, okay, what's the deal back there? What is bugging you? Because if I can find out what's bugging you, we can solve it. Think about a scared little kid strapped in their car seat, being afraid of change, being afraid of something different, being just afraid in general. You got to calm them down so that you can move forward feeling better and doing better. Okay? So, yeah. Okay, I love this. I'm backing up. Ooh, we only got 11 minutes, but then I'm going to be on another TikTok live. You know? Okay, I love it. So people are connecting. I love it. Yeah, what a great question. Yeah, it makes me tense when they are in the car with me. Yeah, notice a backseat driver. You don't like that. You don't want to hang out with them. Yep. Yeah. Laura Gibbon Voorhees saying to Rach, now you can say to yourself, I'm okay. I lost stuff, but now I have plenty again. I have just the right amount for what I need, and I don't have to be afraid of losing it again. Yeah. Loss can impact us. Lack of trust can impact us. How we grew up, how we got to where we are today in our lives impacts what we do and how we think and how we act. Okay? When you know about it. Okay, so Stephanie Doyle is saying, I feel like I have so much stuff at home and at school. Okay, so notice what the feeling is of feeling you have so much stuff. That's clutter. We can work on that. It's going to be up to you, and I say this in a good way, to identify what's the good stuff and what's the clutter. I can help you with that. You know what I feel right now, and this is why I share this with you. I look around my house and I say, we have just the right amount. Maybe even 10% clutter, but it's working for us. I'm not going to stress about 10 or 25%. It feels just right. We're not in lack. We don't wish for a thing. We have everything we need, and we have very little excess, and it feels nice. And what we do have that feels like excess, we look to share it with other people. So if you feel like that, Stephanie, what do you want to do with it? Okay, what do you want to do about it? If you want to declutter, Irish Pink Milo, nice to see you. Yep. What do you want to do about it? Yeah, Beth After Dark. Beth After Dark. Yes, this is Beth in the kind of the dinner with Beth. Dinner time with Beth. Beth After Dark is going to be later tonight, where I'm probably going to be sitting in my office because if I sat somewhere comfortable, I may nod off. Okay? Yeah. Notice how trauma in our past can still affect us to this day. Rach, I offer to you, you're not alone in feeling bad of getting rid of things, but notice even getting rid of things, you can rephrase that. You can feel better by even changing the words you use. Be your own internal English professor. Instead of getting rid of it, maybe you are sharing your abundance with somebody who doesn't have anything. Maybe you're going to share your abundance with people who have lost their homes in the fires in LA. You can now be the person who can help people when you are in the receiving end of help. You can now be that person. Okay? Yes, Carla Jane, really quickly. Did you say you only changed the time for one live tomorrow only? No, not tomorrow. Wednesday. Prince Spaghetti Day. Anthony. Wednesday. I did Wednesday because when I was in the shower this morning, scrubbing up my hair, I was like, when's my next haircut? And then I said, oh crap, you know what? I bet you anything when I made that appointment, when I make appointments on my cell phone, which is what I do at the hair place, it goes on to this calendar that I never check. And if I don't catch it, it stays there and it's hidden from my thing. So when I unhid it, I realized there was a conflict. But it's so much easier for me to slightly adjust a TikTok live that hasn't happened than try to get another hair appointment. Everybody, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, Tiffany Roberts says, you teaching about the parts of us in different seats of the car sounds like internal family systems. Yes, Tiffany, I've been told that. Now, the funny thing is, I've never heard of that until I started coaching. Somebody told me about it. I studied a lot to become a certified life coach. I have learned these things. I've picked up things here and there. I describe it in a way that makes sense to me because I know what it's like to be in the passenger seat, to be in the driver's seat, but be afraid to drive and not know where to go. I like to work in words that we already are so used to listening to that we use anyway. Oh my God, I ran out of gas. Ooh, that was a roadblock. I can't even start today. My battery's dead. So it's the same concepts, I'm sure, because the concepts are probably limited, but there are different ways to talk about it. I like to be in the car and on a road trip more so than I like to hang out with my family. I don't know. There's that, Yes. Yeah. I want to share my abundance. How? Donate your stuff. Donate. Do not throw away. Donate. Share. Give. Those verbs. You can donate stuff. You can donate time. You can donate money. You can share your stuff. You can share your time. You can share your money. What do you have that you could live without that could really benefit somebody. That's how you share your abundance. And I'm going to share with you guys, if you have clutter, you have abundance. You may feel like you may feel like you have lack. You have abundance. Just think of all of those people in California whose house is burned down, whose business is burned down. You have so much more than them. What can you do to help? You can share your abundance, okay? Now, I'm going to back up. I got 5 minutes to go. Yes, just the right amount. Leslie, think about that think about the Goldilocks. Not too much, not too little, just right. Now, you're just right. Am I just right? Excuse me, TikTok's making me put a little puzzle together. Your just right feeling and my just right feeling may be different. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are maximalists and they love it. Other people are minimalists and they love it. What your just right feeling is unique to you. So start to learn what your good feeling feels like. And that's what you aim for. Somebody said, up thread a bit, what is calm? I say it's your just right feeling. You're not too activated, but you're feeling good. You are calmed down. The backseat driver is safe, feeling safe enough to fall asleep. And you're feeling good, and things are quiet in your head. And you look around, and there's nothing that's yelling at you, except maybe saying, put away those Christmas lights tomorrow. But even then, I'm like, I already got a plan. That's why the tote's right there. Okay? So, notice these things. Notice how you talk to yourself can make a difference. Okay? Now, hey, I love it. I'm seeing some people. I'm seeing some German maid's got a hair appointment on Wednesday. Love it. Christine's got a hair appointment on Wednesday too. My God, we're all going to be so fashionable. I love it. EKBPM says, I have filled an entire trash bag of actual trash from a storage closet during this live. Thank you. Well, first of all, you're welcome. But second of all, no, thank you. You, please, everybody, thank yourself for showing up for yourself. If I was the one who filled the entire trash bag, yes, I would want the thanks. What all I did, and I'm not minimizing it, but notice when you hear kinder, more encouraging words from a co-pilot, you are taking action that's making you feel good. You can do something about what's bugging you. Do not listen to the negative, unhelpful, fearful, scared, mean, yelling, angry, whatever voices that are trying to shut you down. Ignore them. Quiet down. Roll up the windows, lock the doors, drive somewhere else where they are not. Listen to your own co-pilot. And you can do amazing things. And the wonderful thing is, clutter is something that is easy to learn these concepts with. Okay? Kara, nice to see you. Gave away a bunch of stuff today that I cleaned up from the garage last night. I love it. Okay. No, Kat Roby's meeting was late, so got to stay. Great session. See you next SBB. Okay. And notice, 80s Girl Forever says, just is good enough for me. Yeah. Just is good enough for me. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. You can't take it with you when our time here is up. No. When I'm on my deathbed, I want to feel like I did good stuff during my life. I'm not going to care about what I owned. I'm going to care about are the people that I connected with, the experiences I had, not the stuff I bought somewhere. Okay? So I love that. Yeah. So I love it. Therapy Gal Sue is getting the decluttering list done little by little. That's what we do. Nancy Bear chunked it down. I cleaned out a coffee table cabinet. See, you can do things you didn't think you can do. Speak of perfect timing, I hear the back door. Is that the king? What is it? Hawk. I hear the cannons roar. Is that the king? Is that the king approaching? All right. Land shark. Right. Yeah, if and when I pass. And none of us know when that's going to happen. So let's start sooner rather than later. So much like Rach says, I don't want my boys going through my clothing and my junk. So yeah, let's start sooner rather than later. Even if we're going to live to 100 like my great aunt Shirley and my grandmother. So I have 40 plus more years on this planet. Let's start now. Okay? Yeah. Hark, do I hear a footfall? There we go. Okay, Mama Pepper, I will see you in the morning. All y'all, just putting it out there. I have another TikTok live coming up tonight. If you want to know when that is, you got to be on the mailing list. Okay? If I filled a trash bag, la da da. I love it. I love it. Radio days. Yes, thank you, Laura Miller. I'm glad you picked up what I was putting down. Okay, so wicked quick. I didn't talk about this a lot. If we just met, make sure you're on my mailing list if you want to be. It's totally up to you. I don't want to say I don't care, but it's not about me. It's about you. When you sign up for the mailing list, you'll know when my TikTok lives are this week. And ideally, TikTok will continue. All right? Yes, check your emails. Check the secret page that people get access to when you're on the mailing list. And that's where the schedule is. And yes, I did change one. That's on Wednesday because I get my hair cut, check my nails. And it's the one that I highlighted in yellow to say, hey, this had changed. Okay, but it is correct now. All right? My husband just came home. I'm going to say hi to him. I'll see you guys in a few hours. And notice I said few, so you don't know when I'm going to show up. But those of you on the mailing list do. Okay? Bye. This has been fun.